You're listening to the LaRocque Life Podcast, where hosts Michael and Laura explore relationships, adventure, freedom, and just some all-around real and raw conversations, drawing from their 17 years together with a bit of sarcasm, humor, tears, a few and lots of love. They deep dive into the male and female perspective on relationships and navigate the highs and lows of life together. Sit back, grab your love mug, and let's get into today's conversation.
All right, babe. Episode 45. What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about some intentional connection. Intentional connection time.
Yeah.
Dating your partner, dating your spouse. Without even leaving the house. Dating your spouse without leaving the house.
Holy cow. Good one.
Just gotta, let things roll for a little bit.
These do flow. Hey, you couldn't even plan that. Anyway, that's awesome, buddy. Sweet. Well, we're gonna get right into it here. It's Sunday night. It's time change Sunday. So we're both a little bag. Lennox took a little longer to get to sleep. And we're gonna get right to it. It's gonna be a different spin off of what we normally do. But yeah, you were telling a great story before. Let's get into that one.
Yeah, so we were just having a conversation earlier this week. And of course, we always like to just come on here and share our conversations. And so we were just discussing how, before the whole COVID thing, which has essentially been a year now, we used to have very intentional date nights. Like we would get a babysitter in quite regularly and we'd get out of the house together, go for dinner and like sit across the table and look each other in the eyes and just like have conversation, right? Like things that aren't constantly getting disrupted by Lennox, so a toddler or a child, or even just like phones going off or just life.
Oh yeah, no, we're
right?
very intentional on those date nights for sure.
Yeah, and then having fun together and laughing. And so it's, we did definitely try to be intentional in it. But then obviously when we moved away to Kamloops, we didn't have a babysitter. And then I found a few, but it wasn't quite as easy as here because Lennox didn't want to be left with them. Whereas here, like before, the babysitter we had here, he would be like, bye. Like just want us to leave the house.
Kick us out.
He's like cuddling her and just like in love with her. But then when we moved out to Kamloops, it was a thing. Everything was so new to him out there. And so it was just almost easier to not. But then I feel like from that, we kind of got into this sort of routine of just not really like getting out of the house together. And then it kind of even turned into just like, we work a lot in the evenings, right? Because we work a lot when Lennox is sleeping. And then if we're not working, it's almost like just chill and relax. And oftentimes I'll just go to bed or we'll watch a show. And I'll fall asleep on the couch.
Exactly. It's that typical story, right? Like we try to watch a movie and you've seen like 5 minutes of every movie, I think.
The first 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I get it. I understand. And like, we're just hanging out or watching a show or watching TV and like rub your feet or something, I get why you'd fall asleep and fucking tired. I get it. Like, I understand that. And so we really have to pick our spots with that and really put an effort in. It's not like it's not like we don't want to, I don't think, right? But.
Yeah, it's just like obviously like everyone. And that's why we wanted to share this conversation because I know that there's a lot of couples in the same position.
Yeah.
The women I coach, we talk about this often. And so it's funny because often I'll coach women and then I'll be like, wow, okay, we're not doing that right now. Like we have in the past, but we've fallen out of that. Or, we're just in a different season of life, but I want to come back to this. And so based on our conversation, we were just talking about how we want to connect more, both intimately and like just deeper connection, right? Like, our conversations, like the way we communicate and basically go through day-to-day life is great. But if we want to teach couples how to do something deeper and how to even take our relationship deeper, which we're continuously doing, we have to take steps that are just kind of outside of this comfort zone we've fallen into, right? Or we always kind of tend to lean back into. So anyways, we just had this conversation. And so we wanted to share this part with you because this is the part that I think a lot of couples can take into their relationship and really begin to spark more deeper intimacy and deeper connection. And like, we're not even talking about just through sex, right? Like that will probably come through it, but we're talking about being very intentional and setting some time together. And so we still didn't get a babysitter, but we decided that once a week, we're going to make a date night a priority because, again, it kind of got shuffled down to the bottom. And it was like, if we had time or if we felt like it. But I was like, how about we start treating this like it's our job, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it is. It ultimately is. And this is exactly what we coach people on. So it's like, we have to do this ourselves. And so we decided that once a week, we're going to schedule it in. Mm-hmm. There's like a dedicated night, and it'll be a different night each week, but we'll just kind of take a quick gander at our week and see which day is best for us in our schedules. Now that I'm such a
big shot, I got to check my schedule. Hang on.
Right. And so we'll pick a night, we'll book it in, and then we'll get Lennox to sleep. I mean, maybe of course in the future might get a babysitter in again, but as of right now, we're just like, oh, it's a pain in the ass. So,
100%.
So anyways, get him to sleep. And actually, I'm going to back up and say it is really great having a babysitter so that we can skip that whole bedtime routine because God, that gets mundane. Hey, I mean, it's lovely. I love it, like laying with him and cuddling with him, but this is totally a side note. And like, I really try to soak those in, but every once in a while, it's sure nice to be able to skip that date night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know. And it's like,
skip that bedtime, routine. Not
gonna miss it. Like, I know when that does happen or when that time comes. But yeah, I know when you're in it, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, and on this note, it's funny because on Thursday night, I went and met a girlfriend for a drink and dinner. And we were just talking about, I don't know, where we were going to go and what we were going to do. And I was just like, I am not coming home before Lennox is asleep for that exact reason. It's just nice to have a little bit of a break. But
I got you. Don't worry.
Anyways, okay. So number one, first step, pick a date, beginning of the week in the calendar, booked in. That way it can't not happen. Right? No excuses. And here's the thing. Like I said, you can date your spouse without leaving the house. It's totally the title of this episode. So it doesn't have to cost a thing. So if there's your excuse, right? One excuse, we don't want to spend the money. Another excuse, we don't have the time or we don't have a babysitter or we don't have, someone who can watch our kids. Well, you don't need to get them to bed. And I'm sure some kids maybe go to bed a little bit later, but you can still have a shorter date night then after they go to bed, right?
Right.
And what I thought was actually quite neat was the fact that we had it planned in. I was preparing myself for a few days, just knowing that like, okay, I can't go to bed at 9:00. Like we have something planned. And so I was mentally prepared for that. So that was a big help because I know a lot of parents are tired, right? So,
absolutely.
So that was helpful. Okay. So, intentionally setting a time. And then what else did we do?
Well, we were going to alternate as well. So take turns, right? So one, the first one or the initial one here I took that one. We did that on Friday, but yeah, I think that makes more sense too. Cause then all the onus isn't on the typically on the female partner, like, normally, right? It's like, well, what are you doing, babe? Okay, whatever, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? And this is what it is.
Yeah. And here's a hint to the guys that are listening. Plan something for her and don't even ask her what she wants to do. And it doesn't come from a rude way, but it's like, she makes so many decisions in a day based upon the family and caring and nurturing for everyone that she just wants someone to take care of her. And so when you're just like, hey, I made this plan, again, doesn't have to cost anything. You don't even have to go anywhere, but like, I made this plan. This is what we're doing. You don't have to do anything, but
I don't think there could be a more masculine thing, and she'll definitely appreciate it. 100%. Yeah. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And we could actually share a quick example about that because I was laying with Lennox. We just find it easier to lay with him to go to sleep instead of going to his room every freaking 5 seconds.
We've been through every rodeo. And for a while, we had that down pat too. It was going quite well. And then whatever. It just is what it is. It's easier to lay with him.
Yeah. Except some nights it does still take a while. And so that night happened to be taking a while. And so I was laying there with him just thinking like, come on, dude, it's time to go to sleep. But then in my mind, I was making up a story, and I was well aware I was making up this story, but I was like, if Mike is just sitting on the couch and like hasn't made an effort to get anything planned, I'm totally just going to bed. Like I'm totally just like jumping ship and be like, sorry, going to bed. But I came out and you were just like sitting at the table, like doing nothing, like literally just waiting for me, which was kind of sexy because it was like you were just like waiting.
Just waiting for my lady. No,
Yeah.
It's nice. It's like, well, fuck, I'm not gonna sit here on my phone or do any of that. And even that, I'm just trying to be a lot more aware of that. But I mean, that'd be the biggest turn off to walk out and just sitting on my phone, right? So
yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, it was like kind of cool because I'm like, okay, I was just laying with Lennox thinking I'm not even doing this anymore. But then to come out and you were sitting at the table and there was a candle lit and you had some country music. We're totally into like the 90s country right now. So you had that playing lightly and you had the game out because we were playing the farming game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Music to go along with, but
we're so hick. But and what else did you do? Oh yeah. And I went grocery shopping earlier that day and I had planned our snack, which was like our dairy-free cashew
healthy ice cream,
but so good. And so we just sat there and we ate that with one spoon and played the game. And again, it was kind of tiring. We haven't played that game for many years, and so part of me was like, I don't even freaking understand how to play this anymore, and trying to read the directions, and I easily could have got frustrated. So I was just like, I'm just tired. I want to go to bed. But as soon as we started diving into it, we ended up having tons of laughs.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, exactly. And got that energy back too. Cause, well, yeah, like I seen you walk out of the room too, right? When I seen you walk out of the room, like your eyes were like dopey and you're just like, I could see, I was just waiting for it to be, well, maybe we should just go to bed tonight and do this tomorrow or whatever that would have looked like. But no, you powered through and you're like, oh, candle. Okay, let's do this. So it all worked out.
It shifted everything. And we talk about this with our clients, right? Like you have to change your physiological state, whether that's through, some movement. But I found even just like you sitting there and having a candle lit was like totally changed it for me. Cause I mean, you did, I guess you changed like our environment, right? You changed our space. And I was like, oh, it smells good in here. And it looks like romantic and there's ice cream.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like that was big. I remember just thinking about that. I was like, okay, I got to do something here. Like, don't be a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And just sit on the couch. Because again, that would be my default. I would be like, okay, well, it's taken forever. I know you're going to be tired. I'm tired. Like everybody's fucking tired. I get that, right? So
I think too, like if you are going to stay home, you do have to make a conscious effort to shift the environment, right? Because obviously when you're going out on the town, you're going for dinner somewhere, it's a shift and you're just like, oh, okay, this feels good because we're doing something different. So if you're just at home doing the same thing, then it's kind of like, what's the point? But yeah, just even those small little tweaks was something different. So that was cool. And then I just kind of wanted to like slide this in that I won.
Yeah, I was a typical farmer. I was really going into debt there a little bit.
And I was the banker / farmer on the side. And I was like, don't worry, babe, I'll take care of you. Also, side note though, I teach, I think I taught this in a masterclass once. It's like, if you want to boost your man's masculinity, then, you would want to, create a little friendly competition, but maybe like let him win.
Maybe, I don't know if you could, or if you can work that in. But I mean, that's like teeing one up for like in softball or something. Like fuck that, fuck off. We're gonna play. Beat me fair and square.
But you also liked my like boldness and like
100%. I'm comfortable. Like maybe I guess if you're not comfortable in your masculinity or something, then I guess whatever you got to do to stroke that ego. But no, fucking bring it on. Like get beat.
And that's what I was gonna say though too, because you've been a lot in your masculinity lately. So it's almost like you were good. Like not almost like you were good. Like you were good with that, right? Like you don't care. You just said it.
Fucking almost won though. Came from behind. Really pulled it through. My fruit came through. If anyone knows the game, had a big roll at the end, but wasn't enough. Made some really bad investments at the beginning.
Right.
But no, it was tons of fun, and I mean that's what we got to do. And life, like I said, everyone's fucking tired. It's mundane, especially right now. We're on like day fucking 300 and whatever on this lockdown stuff or whatever it is now. I don't even know.
It's like probably day 365 of 2 weeks to
the curve. And I don't even know what we're doing anymore. I gave up on all that, so I have no idea what it's like if people are locked down or not, or if you're allowed out or whatever that is. But
I don't follow anything.
You gotta do something, right? And no, it was awesome. It was needed too for us. Like I mean, just to I mean, we talk a lot. We've been working a ton. So, I mean, that's one thing, but we haven't just sat down and just had a good like laugh and fun and bullshit.
Yeah. And like not talking about anything.
It's always been like work right now too,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like we're so stuck in these programs that we're doing, which is a good thing, and it's work, and it's really, it's passionate work, but at the same time it's still work, and it's like it's kind of all we've been talking about lately, right? So it's nice just to get out of that a little bit and
just sit down and like laugh about something that really doesn't matter.
No,
right?
not at all.
So there's that connection level, and then obviously ever since then, like we've just felt more connected, right? Like I feel like we're pretty connected anyways, but it just keeps going deeper. And the more that you spend time like that, is quality time.
Well, it's intentional time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being out,
intentional time.
That was Friday night, then Saturday going out in the garage, and we're working on bunk bed for Lennox. So I mean, doing that together, having Lennox in the garage too with us working. And it's just, it's just going. So it's awesome. Like I can't really explain the feelings, I guess, but just having that, not just sitting around. But I'm not gonna lie either. Like we do, like we let like Lennox plays his games, and like we're on, like I'm on my phone. Everyone, like it's not that doesn't happen by any means, but just I talking to him about it today. Like I was down here working out, and he was playing some games and stuff, and we're just, it's okay to do this, but we have to go outside and do certain things too. And like even our board games, like there's no phones aside from the music playing. Like there's certain times for that. I think that just whatever, that's the time we live in now. Like it's not going to happen, and I don't want to make it a thing to not, because then it's like, then it would just be weird too. But I mean, I want to make sure that we're outside doing things with our hands. We're working out, being physical, doing all these things, and then you can put in time for games or phones or whatever, TV. That's fine. It's not. Yeah, it's not like it's not going to happen, but...
Well, I think it's just finding a healthy balance,
exactly.
Because it's the same with junk food. Like if you put junk food on this like pedestal that is like a big treat that you're only allowed to have after you finish your meal or on weekends, then you're going to go all out when you get it.
Yeah.
Whereas like if it's just another part of the food, then like you just eat it like regular food. And then I feel like that's kind of how I almost want to raise Lennox and how we are now. And because this is also new to us too with this electronics, right? But it's like, if it's just a regular routine or like a part of your regular thing, then it's not when you go out after to a friend's house or you graduate and you leave and you never have got to have those things that you just go crazy with it, right?
Right.
Same with maybe alcohol, like all of the things, right? So it's like if you just have small healthy doses here and there, it's just kind of like, oh, no big deal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, that's kind of a twist from where we were headed.
Off track. But,
so what are our like key points was setting an intentional date night.
Planning it out, marketing in your calendar. Yeah. Marketing in your calendars.
And then doing something different. So if you are leaving the house, awesome. But if you're not leaving the house, like changing the environment, changing the state of the place, right? So that there is something different, no distractions. And no excuses. I think those would be kind of the main things. No excuses for sure, because again, it would be so easy to just change your mind, say, oh, let's do it tomorrow. But you can't do that for your job or, I mean, other, I guess, commitments that you have, right? And so it's like, why are we so easy to drop that commitment with our partner?
Yeah.
And not the other things, right? So,
absolutely. Yeah.
Really just kind of putting priority on that again, right? And really valuing that time together and that connection time. So
big time. That's all it really takes. It doesn't have to be anything outlandish or over the top. It's just literally we were playing a game that we like to play, and it's just tons of fun and easy and not expensive. Just get at it and have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, we're going to keep this one nice and short tonight because like Mike said at the beginning, it's Time Change Sunday, and we've probably had the laziest but almost most productive day as well.
Yeah, it's a really good day.
Super lazy, but got my taxes done, so that's amazing.
Yeah. Got our bed set up, or got our bed all prepped up, and like got quite a bit of stuff done. So it was good. It was a good day.
Yeah, but totally.
But yeah, no, okay. Well, that's awesome. Definitely check out LaRocqueLife.com for get on the wait list for Safe and Wild. We have our last call this week with our first group that we ran through, and fuck, man, I'm still buzzing from our last call. That was an awesome call.
And there's some really great feedback on that too.
Guys are opening up, and it's just it's amazing, and that's what really lights me up, and that's the fuel to get through all this. So it's going to be awesome. And next round, we're going to keep learning and keep getting better. And it's just going to keep go from there. So,
so we haven't set an exact date on when we're going to start round 2. But like I said, if you just get on the wait list, you just have to go to LaRocque Life, Safe and Wild. I think you apply and then you're on the wait list. And you'll be the first to know when it opens up, because we're not going to take a large group of people again either, because I think it is really nice to have this smaller group right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how you'll get on it. We'll keep you posted on the exact date, but it will be in the next month.
Yeah, something like that.
4 to 6 weeks, we'll start the next one. So definitely get on that. And yeah, I think that's everything. We do have like a few fun things planned for the podcast before we part for season 2, right?
We'll
this is season 2. So
take a season 2 break for, it's not even that long either, but
no, we'll just take a short break and kind of regroup and get some stuff. We're doing lots of stuff behind the scenes and bringing some stuff together. So that's kind of exciting, but taking up time. But we're going to take a break. So we have 5 more episodes?
This is 45. So you'll have 4 left after this.
Yeah, but we have a few guests coming up. So we're planning that behind the scenes here right now too. But before we break, we'll have a few guests on the podcast, and then there'll be other episodes of just Mike and I. So make sure to tune into those, because we're just going to bring tons of value. I want to start expanding into other other people who can bring you value based upon relationships. And it might be in ways that, it's ways that we're not totally qualified in, but very applicable to relationships, and maybe even people who are very similar to us. But everyone hears something differently from someone else, right? We could say the same thing that the person we interview says, but you just might not hear it. You need to hear it from them. So whatever we can do to bring value, that will be coming here in the next few weeks as well. So make sure that you're staying tuned to future episodes too.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at LaRocque Life Podcast and online at LaRocqueLife.com. Ladies, find Laura on social media at Laura LaRocque and online at LauraLaRocque.com. Have a request for a show topic? We love that. Send us an email at michael@LaRocqueLife.com or DM at LaRocque Life Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.